The Republic of Texas, born from a desire to join the United States, spent a decade navigating a treacherous path toward that goal. Its eventual entry into the Union was not a simple political act. It was a catalyst that would redraw the map of North America, trigger a massive international war, and push the entire United States to the brink of its own civil war. Today, we explore the final, dramatic act of the Republic, the Great Annexation Debate, the bloody price of admission in the US-Mexican War, and the crucial deal that set the modern boundaries of Texas. Stick around to learn how a single election in the US finally broke the stalemate and why Texas received $10 million from the US government. If you're interested in high-stakes diplomacy and the high cost of statehood, hit that like button and subscribe. From the beginning, the question of annexation, the process by which one country or territory is added to another, was debated from two distinct perspectives. For Texans, the arguments in favor were overwhelmingly practical. The primary motivations were security from a hostile Mexico and relief from a crippling public debt that the Republic could never hope to pay on its own. In the United States, the debate was more complex and deeply divisive. Proponents were driven by the powerful idea of manifest destiny, the belief that America was divinely ordained to expand across the continent. Southern states were particularly eager for annexation, as Texas represented a vast new territory for the expansion of slavery, which would significantly increase their political power in the U.S. Congress. Opposition, however, was fierce. Northern states and abolitionists strongly objected to admitting another large and powerful slave state, fearing it would permanently upset the delicate balance of power between North and South. There was also a widespread and accurate fear that annexing Texas would provoke the war with Mexico that Sam Houston had so carefully avoided. The stalemate was broken by the U.S. presidential election of 1844, when James K. Polk won on an aggressive pro-annexation platform. The final chapter of the Republic was overseen by its last president, Anson Jones, known as the architect of annexation. A protege of Sam Houston, Jones skillfully continued the strategy of playing American fears of British influence against the possibility of an independent Texas allied with European powers. He successfully secured a last-minute offer of peace and recognition from Mexico, fulfilling his promise to give Texans a clear choice: independence or annexation. But public sentiment was no longer in doubt. The Texas Congress overwhelmingly rejected the Mexican treaty, accepted the U.S. offer, and even voted to censure President Jones for delaying the inevitable. On February 19, 1846, at a ceremony in Austin, Anson Jones lowered the Lone Star flag for the final time and declared, "The Republic of Texas is no more." Annexation immediately led to the war many had feared. The United States inherited Texas's border dispute with Mexico. Texas claimed the Rio Grande as its southern and western boundary, but Mexico insisted the border was the Nueces River, much farther to the north. President Polk, eager to acquire more territory, used this dispute as a pretext for war. He ordered U.S. troops under General Zachary Taylor to occupy the disputed territory. When Mexican troops inevitably clashed with them, Polk was able to declare to Congress that Mexico had invaded our territory and shed American blood upon American soil, securing a declaration of war. Texans enthusiastically joined the war effort. The state raised 7 regiments, and the famed Texas Rangers served as scouts, earning a reputation for bravery, but also for their harsh tactics against the Mexican civilian population. The war ended in a decisive American victory with the signing of the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo in 1848. The terms of the treaty were transformative. Mexico was forced to cede all claims to Texas, finally recognizing the Rio Grande as the international border. It also sold a vast expanse of territory known as the Mexican Cession, including all or parts of California, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, and Wyoming, to the United States for $15 million. Even after the war, two major issues from the Republic era remained for the new state of Texas: its massive public debt and its expansive territorial claims that extended far into New Mexico and north into what is now Wyoming. These claims conflicted with the U.S. government's plans to organize the new territories acquired from Mexico. The conflict came to a head in 1850, threatening to provoke a civil war between Texas and the federal government. The crisis was resolved as part of a larger package of legislation known as the Compromise of 1850. This set of 5 bills was designed to settle contentious national disputes over slavery in the new territories. As part of the deal, Texas agreed to give up its claims to the territory that now makes up parts of 5 other states. In exchange, the U.S. federal government gave Texas $10 million, a sum specifically designated to finally pay off the lingering public debt of the old Republic of Texas. This compromise established the modern-day boundaries of the state, giving Texas the distinctive shape we recognize today. However, the entry of Texas into the Union was the trigger for a decade of escalating sectional conflict over slavery that made the American Civil War almost inevitable. Texas achieved its dream of statehood, but at an enormous cost: an international war and the acceleration of a national crisis. The Lone Star did not simply join the Union. Its entry fundamentally changed the direction of American history. What was the true price of statehood for Texas? The territory it lost? The war it inherited? Or the role it played in making the American Civil War inevitable? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe for more insights into the birth of the Lone Star State. Until next time, stay curious